Welcome to the Club and Team Squad Guide for Football Manager 2016. So this is the brand new version of Football Manager that comes, the official release is in 4 days, I think. Be interesting to see what they patch. I'm playing the beta at the moment, so there could be a few little things that changes, but most of this stuff is set in stone, like the player stats and all that sort of thing. This series basically aims to show you what the club is, so show you the finances, show you the transfer budget, how much wage budget have you got, what do the board want you to achieve in your first season in Manchester City so you don't get sacked, because that's pretty shitty when you play Football Manager. And then we'll also go through the youth team, see if there's any little gems that are coming up, and then the under-21s, same again. And then also we'll go through the main squad, look at the players, also look for any weak points that we think the squad could be strengthened in, or any sort of players that we can get rid of, make some money from. So first of all, you always get the message from the director, and he says this is how we want you to play, which is play attacking football, not a problem. Sign high-profile players, not a problem. You're Man City. Develop players using the club's youth system. A little bit more tricky because Man City don't have the best reputation as a youth system, but we'll get into that and have a look to see if they have any little gems coming through. On to the finances. Now, this is quite surprising. I must admit when I loaded this up. Your balance is 33 million, as in the top left. You're expected to make a crap ton of money. This is the forecast. And you have 0 transfer budget. And wages, you're spending 3 million, and or you've got 3 million spent, and you're currently spending 2.9. So, interesting. You're going to have to sell to buy, unless you could probably ask the board for money. They might give you it. You never know, but that's quite interesting. So let's look at our under 18s. We're not going to go for every player, just going to skim the sort of couple of best prospects by the scouts. I'll leave it to you guys to find out the hidden little gems in here. So there's only a sort of couple worth looking at here. We've got Brahim Diaz, a 15-year-old attacking midfield centre, and you can also play central midfield. The scouts love him. He's got a lot of improving to do. As I see in my other videos, 2 of the important factors of whether a player improves or not, or reaches his potential as a youngster, is work rate and determination. He's got a good work rate. His determination may be a little bit low. I think he'll struggle to hit his potential. Maybe with some game time or a good loan move or lots of tutoring, you could get him close, but it's going to be a lot of hard work to get him to the heights, I think. Yeah, same with this guy, really. Another 16-year-old, determination, work rate low. He's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it. I'll tell you that much now. Pablo Maffio, a little bit better than the previous guy. Right back, half decent. Again, 17 years old. Don't think he's going to make it. Would need a bit of luck and a lot of skill from you guys to make him into a player worth keeping. On to the under-21s. Inacio. We've heard a bit about this kid. He's okay. A little bit undervalued, underrated, I think, compared to real life. 18-year-old Nigerian striker. His physicals are really good. His mentals are lacking somewhat. Work rate's 10, determination is 10, teamwork 9, decisions 9. They're all quite low. Can't pass. His first touch isn't great. Yeah, you need to do a lot of work on him, but he could become good if he gets a good tutor, gets a bit of game time. This could be like a project to work on. He could definitely make it. It would require you to put in a lot of work. Oliver Nitcham, he's a midfielder, quite versatile, can play on the wing as well. Sorry, my dogs are bundling at the moment. Decent player, determination 16, which is nice. 11 work rates, 18 years old, a lot of time to develop. Good physicals. He could become a decent player. Whether it's Man United quality, you could get him to maybe a squad player. I don't think he's not going to be a superstar. This guy I quite actually like as well. He's a central defender. He could play on the right as a right back. not very offensively. You can't cross for shit. 20 years old, so he's a little bit older than the other youngsters we've been looking at. He's worth 8 million, so as we know, you have to sell to buy, so maybe that's one you could look at getting rid of if you needed the money. Just looking, so he hasn't joined the season, so you can sell him. Decent stats, determination's a bit low. I think he'll become a decent player. I don't think he'll be Premiership quality, Man City quality. So I'd probably just look to cash in. I might give him a loan for a season and then see how he develops, and if not, maybe then I'd get rid of him. Any big value players in the team? So we've got Jovetic, 25 years old, good player. Does he have a future fee? Yeah, of 8.5. So he's probably going to go. Dogs, stop it. He's probably going to go for 8.5, I imagine, which is a bit of a bum considering his value. Yeah, that's it. We've already looked at him. So there's a lot of crap in here that I'd really trim down this to make sure you give the good players game time. Onto the squad itself. We'll go through each of the positions. I won't go into too much detail of like players we already know. Like Joe Hart, because he's a great keeper. He's definitely your number one. And Willy Caballero is a great number two. He's 33, so a couple more years you'll get out of him, but he's a brilliant rotational option for Joe Hart. We'll go through each of the positions and then sort of look at if there's any weak points, anybody that need to move. One thing I do notice about the squad is it's old. Its average age must be in the sort of 28s, 29s almost, I think. But we'll go through. So one of your best players is Otamendi, brand new signing, absolute quality centre back. He's only 27. You've got 5 good years of this guy. Do not sell him. He's really good. Mangala's 24 years old. He's another quality centre back. Really good, beastly physicals. Needs a little work on some of his other stats, but 24 years old, you've got time to do that with him. Demichelis is the 34-year-old. He's going to be, I imagine, your backup for the season. He's not worth any money, so not worth selling. So I'd probably just keep him until his contract runs out, I think, which is in a year's time. After that, we have Vincent Kompany, who is a beast. Won't go too much into detail into him. He's just really good. But also 29, so you've got to start planning for the future. Oh, the police are out to get me. Got to start planning for the future with some of these guys. But you've got 3 really good centre-backs there that will do you perfectly well. Right back, we've got Bakary Sagna, quality right back. 32 years old. So another one that's maybe sort of past his peak. And we also have Pablo Zabaleta, who I love in real life. I think these two could compete for the right back slot this season. I'd probably rotate them quite a lot. Quality player, 30 years old, still got another couple of years in him. Left backs, we have Gael Clichy, another 29-year-old. As I was saying, that the age is creeping up. Really good physicals, so that means he'll last a couple more years. Decent player. You probably could find better to buy. He's not valued at a massive amount, so I'm not sure how much he would be worth sort of selling. I'll probably just keep him for a season and then reevaluate. Kolarov, on the other hand, I'd probably sell. I'm not a big fan of him. His defending is not great for a left back, and as a left midfielder, he's okay, but I'd want a bit more pace in a left midfielder. He's kind of stuck in between the 2 spots, really. Maybe a fullback is the perfect sort of position for him to cover those options, I think. But he's worth 12 million, so I'd probably look to sell him and get another first choice left back. So we have Fernando, who is a centre mid, just an all-round decent player, 27-year-old, still got a few years in. He's fine, but if you probably could use the money better. He's valued at 21 million, so if you could get 25 million for him, you could probably get a bit better player that's a bit younger. But that's up to you. That's sort of personal preference, really, as to whether you want. Same with this guy, Fernandinho, 30 years old. He's a little bit older, sort of similar stats. He's a little bit more offensive-minded, and it's worth 16.5 million. So another one. This is the only time he's going to be valued at this much. So if you want to get rid, do it now, because obviously with his age, he's only going to drop. Zuccolini is a young defensive midfielder, 22 years old. I'd loan him out for the season. He's a pretty good player. I don't think he's going to be world class, but he could do a job for you. So I'd probably either use him as a backup this season in the cup games, or I'd send him out on loan. How much is he worth, actually? He's worth 4. Yeah, I'd probably just send him on loan. Yaya Toure, not going to go into too much detail. He's an absolute monster. Pretty much can play anywhere down the spine of the team, apart from in goal. But you could probably do that as well. I definitely wouldn't play him at DM. I think he's too good going forward. I'd probably play him at centre mid, I think, because you've got some amazing players at attacking mid. Patrick Roberts is the young kid they got from Fulham, isn't it? And he is a quality player. Definitely one for the future. His determination is a killer for me. 4 and his decision 6. There's definitely a few stats to be worked on, but I think he could become a good player. Maybe not world class, but I think he could be a good sort of squad player. Raheem Sterling, as a Liverpool fan, yeah, Raheem Sterling is really good. Versatile as well, can play anywhere across the attacking midfield options. Can also play up front. Don't play him up front. Yeah, 20 years old. He's the future of the City. Definitely keep him around. Fabian Delph, 25 years old. I think because you've got Delph, he's like really good. He's a decent player, and he's English. He's homegrown. That really helps. So because you have Fabian Delph, you have Yaya Toure, you have Fernandinho, you have Fernando. I'd probably be looking to get rid of one of those. And I'd probably go just with Fernandinho because he's worth a lot of money, but he is the oldest. So his value will drop the quickest. Jesus Navas, he's okay. He's good pace. I think he could do better. He's worth 21 million, so for that I'd sell him in a heartbeat, to be honest. David Silva, don't need to say much about this guy. Amazing. Not the best physicals, he's only a slight fella, but technical and mental, absolutely great, and he's very versatile. Samir Nasri, this is an interesting one because he's good, he's a great player. Because you haven't got any transfer budget, and I would be looking to make some transfers first season, I would sell Samir Nasri purely because he's worth £41 million. So even if you get 40 million for that guy, you could do a lot of work with that money. You could buy a new left back with it. You know, you could buy a new striker. However I don't know how you want to sort of form up your squad, but we'll have a sort of brief chat about that at the end. But that's the one I'd look to get my cash from, and Kolarov. So if you got rid of Kolarov, even if you got asking price, you got 12 million, you got 28 million. You're looking near a 60 million for those three, because you also up front playing the same positions as Nasri. You've got David Silva and you've got this kid Kevin De Bruyne. Amazing, love him. He's one of my favourite players in real life. Watched him tons, absolute quality, and he's so versatile. He's natural in all these positions. Yes, keep him. Like David Silva, Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne is just scary. And then we have Aguero. We all know about Aguero, probably one of the best players in the world, but he does have issues with fitness. I wonder if they actually say that on his scout report. Yeah, so he is fairly susceptible to injuries, which is you've got to keep that in mind and make sure you've got the strikers to cover. You've got Wilfried Brenny, who's a good all-round striker. He's definitely worth keeping. He's a good backup or second. If you're going to play 2 up front, you're going to be needing to bring a striker in, probably 2, because Dzeko's leaving. He's on loan and he's also already gone to Roma. He's joining Roma on the beginning of next season. So if you're playing 2 strikers up front, you probably need 2 strikers, like a good backup and maybe a youngster with a lot of potential. So that's where that Samir Nasri money would go. Other than that, like I said, a left back might be an option. You can get these would be fine for the first season, Clichy and Kolarov. But personally, I'd sell Kolarov. I'd bring in a youngster. I'd have Gael Clichy as my main left back and tutor the youngster, and then you'll be good to go next season or season after that. Centre-backs, you've got 3 great centre-backs, and Demichelis will do you for 1 season. Goalkeepers are fine. Yeah, so it's just the striking area that mainly needs to be strengthened. And that's about sums it up, I think. Yeah. So tell me what you think about the Man City squad. Are you managing them in the game? Oh, no, we've forgotten something. What do they want you to do? This is quite important. We want to know what the board want us to achieve in our first season. So let's have a look in the Premiership. They want us to win the league. Ooh, that's always tricky, no matter how good your squad is. You've got a great squad, but you haven't got any money to spend. You're going to need to do a bit of juggling if you want to bring in new players. It's definitely doable, but that's a tricky one. All the other big clubs I've looked at have said top 4, so that's quite interesting. The Man City are just saying win it, and they want you to win the FA Cup. Simple. Do the double or get fired. League Cup, they don't care about. The Champions League final. Wow, that's... Regardless of how good that team is, you need a bit of luck in cup competitions and in the league, but especially in the cup competitions. So they're expecting you to win the league, win the FA Cup, and get to the final of the Champions League. Yeah, that's quite tricky. Even with such a good team, just, a bad result is gone. So, thank you very much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be doing all the other clubs in the Premiership, so if I haven't done yours yet, please leave a comment in and I'll get on that straight away. But eventually I will get around to doing them all and then probably drop down to Championship teams as well. And then maybe even League One if there's enough interest from that. So, please follow me and subscribe. And follow me is like a thing, isn't it, on Twitter, not YouTube. Well, I have Twitter, but I don't care really about it. Yes, subscribe to me on YouTube and drop a like would be fantastic. I'm a brand new YouTuber. I'm going to be pumping out a lot of content over the next few months. Quality is going to get better and better as I get all my systems set up and everything. So thank you very much for joining me, guys. Good luck with your Manchester United career. Remember, win the league or die trying. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.